Thank you very much, TN. You've been very kind with your compliment. I want to thank the Maritime Standard, Trevor Pereira and his team for inviting me to speak on what is very dear to me, which is creating a robust support system around the tanker industry, because the asset owners can't do without the support system. We've heard some of our panelists speak about AI and forward thinking, and I'm going to talk about how easy it is getting to do inspections. In other words, remote inspections to start with. Now, safety is one of the very important concerns that are for the tanker industry. There are matrix that dictate who is better than the other in terms of operation, in terms of getting a better charter. Reputation is key, and enhancing this safety aspect in terms of enclosed space entry inspections is a key consideration, and there are some aspects put in place already by the industry, and we will see what those are. And without that support, we cannot have the crew, which is the most important consideration. Before we get AI, before we get automated vessels, we still have crew on board tankers, and that is something that is extremely important as a consideration that the industry has to have. So the classification societies, and some of our colleagues are here who have knowledge of this, have already put guidelines in place as early as 2016. As you can see, the IX class, we can have this circulated, and we have put links for those IX class guidelines for remote tank and hold inspections, which are articulated in guidelines Z29 and Regulation 42. As old as June 2016. Not only that, the flag that I represent, the Antigua and Barbuda flag, amongst other whitelisted flag, have already put out their consent for their ROs, which are the classification societies, how to go about and recognizing these remote inspection criteria. These are some more literature which is there about more recent IX classification, IX class societies published unified requirements for remote classification surveys. So they're all IX classification society is on the same page, and they are all looking at that being the future of inspections, especially in enclosed space and in hazardous environment. We have got all aspects that benefit or are seen as technology advances. With limited or no light situations, drones are able to pick up the information as well as a human eye can. Entry into enclosed space is not required. They work they are intrinsically safe drones, and they do work into hazardous environment, and gas freeing is not entirely required, although it is recommended. And this inspection that comes out is not time limited. Everything that the drone sees is recorded, and it can be seen in time by those who want to look at aspects later on a screen. I've got a small video which indicates, and I want to thank Zena Marine for this and acknowledge that it is a video that their drone has taken. So while this video is played, let me tell you, there is a huge aspect of regulatory framework that in the Middle East, particularly in the UAE, that a drone operator or a drone company has to go through, because there is a huge concern with regards to security and operating drones. A drone operator has to have a license. To get cameras or anything that is camera bound has to be declared before port entry, and there are permissions to be taken. A drone operator's license today, including the courses and not counting the time, cost of time that the operator has to go in, just the license fee is a 10,000 dirham fee for a year to have a drone operator's license in the UAE. Particularly in sensitive zones like ports, it is even more difficult. All right, we're not having this. We move on to the next slide. So there are cost benefits as well going into the unmanned inspection or remote operations. Yeah, that's the video there, and you can see yeah, I can forward that bit. Now, that's Zentech and their drones who have captured this video, which indicates very clearly not just what the drone is seeing, also where exactly the drone is capturing that image in a particular tank within the enclosed space that it is. There's one requirement though that they have is that ex-COVID there has to be a surveyor present on board, although not required to be inside the tank to do this inspection. As you can see, those green dots and the track that the drone is going through is all tracked and recorded, so that on the other side of the screen you can see what the drone is seeing. That's the picture that you see what the drone is seeing, and that is what a human eye could see. But in the present, when a class surveyor goes, and these are enhanced inspections which have to be done on an annual basis of all tanks within the ship, whether it is a cargo tank or it is a ballast tank. And that is a small little LED that is on the drone and is giving you a clear indication of the frames and the coating condition inside a cargo tank or a ballast tank in this case. So there are benefits clearly for using a drone. Like I said, in this region, there is extensive permission that is to be taken, and I don't think the classification society is yet on board in the region unless it is anchorage, and as long as the drone is operated on the ship itself and does not and has the required permissions. So unmanned aerial vessels and drones, there are inspections which are for a number of things like silos, refinery tanks, water tanks, jack-up legs. So there is a huge aspect of coverage which these can be used in, and I think going forward there is a huge benefit. I have put in a small cost comparison of how long it takes and how much it costs. These are rough estimates which are global averages. As you can see, ventilation, again, like I said, it's not required. Scaffolding, usually on tanks it's not, but on cargo holds, etc., for close-up inspections required. Permit to tank entry is not required. There's no human entry. So there is a huge cost benefit of $1,000+ versus $5,000 the traditional way. 6 days versus an hour of preparation, and that's my take on it. It is the future. It is slow in the Middle East, but in my view, it is going to be a trend, and the regulations from a flag and class perspective are in place. We hope it picks up in this place. Drone operator licenses become easier to get. We have got 3 drones in our office as Constellation Marine, but we have not used it more than a couple of times before the license requirements have come. But they're sitting there waiting for it to become easier for operation. Thank you very much, TN.